What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. So today I'm gonna give you guys the secret to getting in shape forever. It's just 3 things. Now you're probably already sitting there going, I already know this because I've seen a lot of Jeff's videos. So it's gonna be nutrition first and foremost. Then it's gonna be working out, training, whatever word you wanna use. Hopefully it's training by now if you watch this channel. And then you're gonna say maybe a variety of different answers like recovery, right? Or sleep, or drinking water, or flexibility or mobility. I'm going to tell you that it's actually none of those things. And the reason is because there's a layer beneath those things. Those are the surface level things. Right? I talked about in the past how we've got like this strength pyramid or the pyramid of performance. And at the bottom of that pyramid is strength, right? Because everything improves with strength. However, if that element, in this case strength, can be undercut by something else, then you're not really at the base of that pyramid. In other words, there's a root system underneath that you need to get to. And what we're talking about here is a root system that unless you uncover it, you're never going to get in the shape that you want to do. So this is going to be one of those kind of heart-to-heart talks where it's going to be nothing but me right here in this camera talking to you, right? But you need to hear what I'm going to say. So it's one of those Jeff rant opportunities here if you give me the chance. So let's talk about what you really need. And it starts with an attitude, the right attitude, or maybe even kind of a piss-poor attitude at the start, but that will improve because you need to have an attitude towards wanting to change, right? Even just the motivation to change. So let's pretend you're fed up with how you look. Like you're so negative about how you feel and look, but guess what? You want to do something about it. Well, likely that brought you to this video, right? Because you're watching right now with a goal of wanting to improve your shape and the fitness that you're in right now. If you were to tell me, I don't give a shit about fitness, I don't care at all, I really don't care. Well, guess what? I know you're lying. And I know 100% that you're lying to me right now. 100%. How? Because you're watching this video. So again, you wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't really want to make a change. So the people that say that never come across this video or never come across any of my other videos or never watch any videos on fitness on YouTube at all, they might be telling you the truth because they may not really care. And that's fine. People cannot care about fitness. But when you realize that there's more to it than just looking good, that your health, your longevity, how you feel from a day-to-day basis, all that stuff hinges upon your own fitness level, you might start caring about it. Maybe even your ability to withstand some of these things that are happening to us right now in the world with these pandemics, your overall fitness level being incredibly important to that. Well, you should care. So if you have the mindset, again, I can improve upon the attitude. But as long as the attitude is that I need to make a change and you're willing to watch these types of videos to get there, good, you're in the right place. So let's talk about component number 2 now. And that is your starting point. So the next question you have to ask yourself is where are you starting and where do you really want to end up? Because I think what happens when we decide that we want to finally make a change, we aspire maybe a little too high where we look for that epitome of where we want to be. So for guys, a lot of times we'll look at someone like The Rock and say, I want to be The Rock. I want to look like The Rock. Well, to me, The Rock is really a maximization of what you might want to do if your goal is to build muscle. And while I admire the fact that The Rock is a beast, okay, and he's got delts and chest and traps and arms and legs, everything is developed, and he's not even a young guy. But if you're starting out in your 40s or 50s and you've never trained or lifted a weight before, you are never going to look like The Rock. There's a lot of other things that are going to prevent you from not looking like The Rock, let's be honest, but you're not going to look like The Rock if you've never lifted a weight before. And I always say, too, the more days that you've spent out of shape in your life to the point where you decide to start lifting weights or get in shape, the harder it's going to be, the longer it's going to take, right? The fewer days you spent out of shape, the faster you're going to be able to get back in shape whenever you decide to get back on track again. So it's important that you started early and that you trained as consistently as you could along the way in order to be able to bounce back faster. But again, anybody can get in better shape, and that's the point. Your starting point matters, but only to a degree. Because if you learn to optimize rather than maximize, you're going to be happy. And the happiness that comes from optimization is going to propel you to the third component here, which is consistency. But before I talk about consistency, think about that optimization again. If we take someone like Jesse, who started out looking like this, if his goal was to look like The Rock, we all know it ain't going to happen. And even though Jesse's made some incredible gains like you can see here, he certainly, I don't think, is ever going to still be The Rock. Sorry, Jesse, you're doing good, but just, you ain't going to be that. Now, if you think about it, though, when we had Jesse on his transformation, which took a period of 5 years to this point, and it's still going, If we look at where he was at the very beginning here, and then we look at where he was where we were showing off some progress here, right? He wasn't where he ultimately is right now. But what was important was he optimized that really skinny physique he had to the point where he got happy about it. It delivered some self-propelling results. Like those results propelled him to continue to push and go further. Again, he didn't need to be the Rock at that point. Even if it was his end goal, it was the fact that he was optimizing and working with what he had that made him feel good about where he was at. So you need to be able to have that ability to assess your starting point, but realize the goal is optimizing where you're at right now to get towards that thing. And the nice thing about optimization is it's a moving target. It can change along the way. I can optimize where I'm at, get to that point and say, all right, I think I can go further than this. And then reset your goals and then optimize further. And then reset your goals and optimize further. When maximization is your goal, there's only one endpoint. And when you don't reach it, you're disappointed. And when you're disappointed, you quit because you don't feel like you've achieved what you're looking to achieve. And that's where consistency comes in. Because we all know that consistency holds all of the benefits. Because if you can't stay consistent, you might have the smartest plan, you might have the best plan, you might have an ATHLEAN-X plan, obviously. If you have those things and you can't stay consistent with it, then no results are going to come. So how do we build up the consistency? There's two things I want you to do. Number one, through the optimization process, you're going to be able to be rewarded along the way through realistic achievements that are going to keep you on track. Okay, that's number one. But I want you to start with a picture. Just take a picture. And it kind of goes back to the starting point. If you take a picture, don't try to hold it in so it's a little better than you want to admit. Don't just take a freaking picture. Don't do it in the best lighting. Take a picture where you don't have that bathroom lighting, right? You want to make sure that you are who you are. Take that picture. Because objectively, even when some of those things that other people rely on to propel them, like the scale or even body fat measurements or clothes fit, right? If those things aren't supporting the fact that you are changing, you're just not changing in those areas that you're measuring. If you have your picture, a lot of times the objective comparison will tell the truth. If you look at those pictures of Jesse, you can see objective improvement here. Again, I don't know what his measurements were. We mentioned 12 pounds of muscle gain at that point, but let's say we weren't doing any of that. Just the picture alone was enough to tell him you're on the right track. The next thing I want you to do is, instead of relying on those measurements again, is just rely on one thing: showing up. If for the first month, if you can just commit for 1 month for me to just make the success or failure of your plan be based upon one thing, you showing up, I promise you, you're going to be on the right track. If you show up each of the times that you're supposed to according to your plan, and you train, and you show up and you do the right things in terms of what you put in your mouth, and you eat the right way, if you show up and you consistently recover and do all the things we talked about at the top of the pyramid, they're all going to work. But you have to be consistent with it. So you need that attitude to be right. You need the starting point to be defined so you know where you're going, and realistically how you can get there through a slow, steady progress, through optimization. And you need to have the consistency in place in order to get to where you want to be. When you have those things, guys, there's no stopping you. You're going to get to all the things you want at that top of the food chain there, the top of the pyramid. They're all going to be yours, but you need to have those three things in place. And that's all you'll need. And once you're on this pursuit here, guys, and you're seeing the results you want, it becomes self-fulfilling. You're not going to fall off of it. You're going to be motivated for the rest of your life. It bit me at the age of 14. I hated training. I never wanted to lift a weight. I got bit by the bug. I decided, let me try it. I started to see results. I've never stopped since. Okay, and all I did was try to optimize along the way. You'll continue to do that for the rest of your life. And no, I'll never be the Rock either, but it doesn't matter to me. As long as I'm fit and I feel good, that's what's most important. I hope you guys can find the same solace in your pursuit. If you guys found this video helpful, make sure you leave a comment below. If you're looking for a plan, one of those smart plans, that I make it very easy for you to follow. I try to overcome all the pitfalls and the traps that get most people. I build them into our program so that you can succeed. That's the most important thing, is I can get you to show up consistently because I know the results will be there. You'll find them over at ATHLEAN-X.com. If you want to see more videos, guys, make sure you click subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss a new video when we put one out. All right, guys, see you soon.